talking about Chelsea is something that now I'm happy to talk about. People keep saying to me, Chelsea this, Chelsea that. I know where we are. I know what mid-table team we are. I know where the expectations are, the club and the ownership. So, but with Chelsea, I just feel that. I mean, let me get your thoughts first. I want to know what you think about Chelsea first. Actually, I know what I think already. I say it every day.
Yeah. What do I think about Chelsea? I'll say it again. I said it to you before, man. This is a long, long project, man. Thing is, this is a unique situation that I don't think people have considered because everyone just wants to do the whole, I told you about Pochettino kind of thing. No. The way Chelsea has changed in a year and a half is insane. You were forced to sell, your owner was forced to sell the club. Your new owner started just bringing in players just for the sake of bringing in players. Mm-hmm. So the old manager didn't even have a system that he could have worked with in the first place anyway. So that didn't work out. You brought this other guy in Pochettino. You added more players in, and probably the best signing out of the lot got a serious injury as soon as he joined the club. Mm-hmm. He's in a very tough spot. And the players that you have on the pitch on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis are still getting to know each other. They're still very new to each other. And quite frankly, if I'm being honest, it's going to come a time where a lot of these players won't be there anymore because some of them are not good enough or they won't be good enough. But that's for the manager to be able to give time to build his team. That's why I talk about 3 years. Pochettino and Chelsea were not going to be a 1-year job. And I didn't even predict a position for you guys because I didn't know if you're going to click straight away and go straight into a European battle or if you're going to have another poor year and just finish around mid-table. Mm-hmm. It just depends on what the players want to do. But quite frankly, you can see some of the players are on here, some of them are not. You can see that already. So hands are tied, man. It's peak for him. And he probably will get sacked, but I just don't think that's going to be fair. It's a tough one. Chelsea, it's not an easy job right now. Mm. Any manager that comes in needs about 3-4 years, in my opinion, before I say, now the pressure's on. Until then, I think you're going to have to ride it out, my guy. I'm sorry, you guys have to ride it out.
Man said you gotta eat that one, you gotta hold that one still.
You gotta hold it.
No, but you know what? I do agree to an extent, but I think for me, my worry as a Chelsea fan is that there isn't even little progress being made. I'm not saying we should be competing or challenging or winning, week in, week out, but this team is so unbalanced and it's almost like building the upstairs of your house, but you haven't even built downstairs. Do you know what I mean? I can't I'll try and explain that. So bringing all these youth players before you even had the manager that you wanted in place at the start of that, or even the people to make those decisions in terms of the recruitment strategy weren't even in place. So half these players came in just off the whim of data, analytics and all the rest of it. But the people that they wanted in to win Stanleys and all of that, they weren't even in the job. Joe Shields and all that, they weren't there.
Yeah.
So they came in after. Then we signed more players in terms of like Lavia, Caicedo, Nicholas Jackson and Kunku, kind of in between that as well. But what we've done is we've removed, and I don't agree that these players should have stayed, but we've removed the likes of Azpilicueta, Kante, Kovacic, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, players that they're not up to the. I'm not saying that they're good enough to be at the club or challenge or whatever, but it's a massive spine that's regular to playing week in, week out of each other. They understand each other. You look at Reece James now, he's injured again. So all of that removed, and then you brought in all this young potential. I love that word now, potential, because we don't even know what level that some of these players are going to hit. They could be championship players for all we really know. No disrespect to a championship player, but we don't know. We brought them on the idea that they're going to be world class or they're going to be in that bracket of pushing top. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be there or thereabouts to be able to challenge for the league with Chelsea, but there's no guarantee of that. Some of these players are on 7, 8 year, 6 year deals. I'm glad they've changed that so you can only, I think it's capped now to 5. It's been agreed by the Premier League, but they're on big wages as well. So I hear a lot of Chelsea fans all the time say, let's move these players on. Let's get rid of that player. Some of these players have come in. They might be on still like 160, 180. That's still a lot of money for a player that's like, people are talking about getting rid of Zazi already at the club. We just signed him in the summer. Madueke, another one. who do you think's coming in when I think Gusto's played 8 games. He was on the list of players that might go in the summer. Or he's featured 8 times for Chelsea. So who's coming in off the back of 8 games? Some of them he's come on as a sub. Who's going to come in and buy him? And bearing in mind, we don't want to make a loss on these players that we've just brought in. So I'm trying to explain this to people, and they go, "Oh yeah, but we can just go and get Victor Osimhen, and we can get this player and that." And I'm trying to say, like, yeah, that's great in principle, but we've just spent over the last 2 windows, say £800 million or 960 or something stupid like that. So people are saying, "Oh yeah, but it's capped on this, and we've done the wages like this and blah." Yeah, that's great, but I'm just trying to explain to Chelsea fans on this podcast that just wake up, because we're not competing. Like you just said then, that 4-year plan, for me, you have to stick with Pochettino now, and you have to stick with these players that you've brought in due to the data and the analytics that they told you they were going to be amazing. You have to see it through now. You can't rip up a £1 billion project, which is what it is at the moment. This could creep into the 3 billion by the end of the 6-year project, where you'd expect to see some sort of trajectory. But you can't rip up £1 billion. You want to rip up £1 billion worth of players and start from scratch? Where did it do that? They don't do that anywhere. So
Can't do that.
the results have to come quickly on the pitch. We've got Sheffield United at the weekend. If we lose to them, I'm gonna go mad. I'm sorry. I'm gonna flip everything that I can see in front of me. Everything is getting flipped over, because the Everton game was a breaking point for me, where I knew we were gonna lose, and the United game was. I mean, we didn't record thankfully that week, but that United game, I said on the other podcast I do, was probably the worst Chelsea performance I've watched in over 30 years. And that's not
bad.
That's not even an exaggeration.
You guys were really bad. You guys were really bad. Apart from one moment where you should have scored. No names.
We'll name and shame that Nicholas Jackson had the chance. He had the chance, man. I'm sorry. That guy, and I hear what people were saying about Sterling passed the ball behind him and blah, blah, blah. Nah, man.
No, he didn't.
Nah, man. I'm not having that. Even if he did do that, listen, there's strikers out there. You could pass the ball behind them, or pass it too early, or pass it too late. They're still putting that in the back of the net. I'm sorry. Like, I can't defend him anymore. I can't defend him. I won't defend him. But this is why I don't talk about Chelsea, because I can feel I'm getting hot in here recording, man. I'm gonna get mad. So we're gonna move on.